Now it is time to enter the program of Physical Excellence, a place where you can develop your child's mobility and manual competence in the most effective and joyous way. When one looks at a child, how much of what he is looking at is pure child? And how much is he looking at New York City or London or Paris or the Kalahari Desert? In order to be sure we knew the answer to that question, we have studied children and lived with children and watched them born in the Arctic, the Kalahari Desert in Africa, and in the most primitive jungles of the world, such as in Brazil, Xingu. We now understand how children develop. Two of the most important things we have learned is that mothers are the best teachers in the world and that tiny children are the best students in the world. The development of human mobility from when a child is born and doesn't really move at all until he is 6 years of age and is complete from the physical standpoint is probably one of the most underestimated functions having to do with human development. I think most people tend to think of mobility development as being the development of muscles and perhaps in a more sophisticated way, coordination, kinesthesia, things like that. The fact is, it has to do with all human function. The development of proper mobility function has a profound effect on brain growth and therefore development of human intelligence.
If you ask the world what it thinks physical excellence is all about, you're going to get a very different picture. You're going to get bristling muscles. You're going to get the great competitor. That is not what we consider physical excellence to be all about. In fact, we're not too thrilled about things that we call games. And games are things like football and basketball and baseball. And the problems with these games is that to some extent they have turned off we adults to the sheer exhilaration of human mobility. The chances are good that if you simply avoid physical activity at all costs, you were probably on one of those losing teams when you were a kid. And then you got big enough to make decisions for yourself, and you decided you didn't want to have anything to do with that business anymore. And that's a shame that to some extent those competitive situations have turned us off to human mobility. We're not too thrilled about those games because they pit man against man or woman against woman. When you have that going on, you have a simulation of war, and we think that there's more than enough of that going on today without us having to run around simulating it and using mobility as the vehicle to simulate it. So is that to say that around the grounds of the institutes we're opposed to competition? Well, yes, we are opposed to that brand of competition that dictates that I have to somehow beat you, I have to overcome you, I have to get more points than you, or something like that. Instead, we teach the children what we believe to be a higher brand of competition, and that goes like this. Okay, Douglas Old Bean, if I want to get to some new ability, to some new place that I've never been to before, I am the biggest single obstacle in my way. And if I am able to overcome myself and pull myself up to that next level, then I have won and I have been victorious. So we teach the children about self-competition. Now, there are two levels upon which you can take everything that we're going to be teaching you this afternoon. The first level, the surface level, so to speak, is we're going to give you more techniques, more things to do with your kids than you'll ever know what to do with, in terms of making your kids physically excellent, being better than average, better than other kids in terms of mobility. But we would very much hope that you don't take these periods at that particular level. Because what is far more important in terms of your children's development and all through their lives is that they have a powerful